Hi everyone, Mandy here from Hunt and Gather Hair Company, and today I am going to bring you a hair tutorial on how to cut a barbered haircut. This is my husband, Ben.
Hello.
And he has been lovely enough to grow his hair to a really unruly length for him, and also let his mustache get a bit out of control so that I can show you guys how to clean this up. Now I'm going to quickly show you guys just how to do a cleanup on your partner, because one thing I want to make really clear is that hair only grows about that much every month. So if we're only going to be on isolation for a month or two, please do not try to become a barber overnight. I'm going to demonstrate a few different techniques for you guys today. I'm going to show you how to do some clipping with some guards and just explain how guards work on one side of Ben's head. And then on the other side, I'm going to show you guys how I actually cut men's hair. Because I actually use clipper over comb and scissor over comb to do all of my barbering. Now, Ben's haircut is what we call a graduated men's cut. So basically, I do a taper up into a graduated shape. So his hair in the hair world would be an upside down triangle. So basically, it goes boop, like that, so that we can maintain the length on top, so that when he works his product in, he's got a lot of length up here so that he can flip it back and work with these waves. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get his hair sectioned out, and I'm going to show you guys a few guidelines on how to just do a nice little cleanup around the edges. If your partner doesn't have a ton of grow out, you don't need to go in with the clippers and start cutting all their hair off. What you can do is just grab a pair of shears. Now, in my previous video, I talked about how when you were cutting a fringe, you needed a blade that was quite narrow. With men's hair, it's actually not the case. So I use a Hattori Hanzo Kamikaze blade or a Mizutani Puffin blade. These are my two barbering shears that are my go-tos. As you can see, the blades are kind of chunky. That helps with not pushing the hair, and it just gets in there and chops it, because with men's hair, you want to create square shapes, not round shapes, and so on and so forth, okay? So, you are going to take your partner's hair and just comb it towards the face, like so. And you're going to see where the line is of the sideburn and the face framing. And you're just going to do a nice, gentle little cut. Right? Just like that. Then we're going to go through and we're going to comb back towards the ear. And you're going to just cut up and around the ear. Now, if you are using massive, clunky kitchen shears for this, it might look really weird. So if you have nail trimmers or just a scissor that's a little bit smaller, do that. But, you know, if you're just going to go for broke and go for kitchen shears, just make sure you don't cut their ear off, okay? Be really, really gentle, really, really safe. Now, you're going to do the same thing behind the ear. So, we're going to turn Ben here. As you can see, he's got a lot of hair behind there that's just kind of kicking out. So we're going to comb it all forward, okay? And then I'm going to get in there. I'm going to try and not get in your guys' way. There you are. Much better. See? Create a nicer line back there. Same thing on the nape of the neck. Now, a lot of people make the mistake with men's hair where they go in with a clipper and they just carve like a line in the back. Now, if somebody is getting their hair maintained regularly and they have a barber that's super skilled that's doing it, that's great. But if you're at home and you are cutting your partner's hair, please do not go in and just go boom, 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 because you might make it look really weird. You gotta kind of go with what their growth pattern is and just cut along with that. And your partner, it's only been a couple weeks that we've all been on isolation, so your partner's hair is definitely going to still have some of that shape. Same thing over here. We're going to get in there and we're going to get behind this ear and we're going to clean it up. As you can see now around Ben's ears and around the side of his head, it looks clean. One last thing before I go in and start cutting Ben's hair, I am going to show you guys how to clean up a mustache and eyebrows. And I'm going to do it with a scissor. So basically what you need is a comb like this. Take your scissors right here. You're going to get your partner to just lower their upper lip like so. There we go. And we're just going to go in and we're going to cut like so. So this is what we call scissor over comb. So this creates a little bit of layering in the mustache so that it's not out of control. See how much of an improvement that is right out the gate? It's huge. Now, we're going to do the other side like so. Make sure to get that all under control. Perfect. And I'm just going to go in lightly and trim around the lips. Be very careful when you're doing this. You don't want to cut your partner. Now, the other rule of thumb with mustaches is depending on the shape of the mustache, you want to have a little bit of it hanging over your lip. So I always make sure to not go all the way up to the top of the lip. We don't want to see skin above it. We just want it to come right above, right there, but just not have any hairs hanging down. So it feels nice and clean. That's a heck of a lot better. Let the top of Ben's hair down now so that you can see how it works with those edges being cleaned up. He does look like a bit of a peacock. Yeah, exactly. There we go. So as you can see, his hair's a bit floppy on top, but a little product is going to be enough to tame that. And with just a clean mustache and clean edges, his haircut looks about 1,000 times better. So now we are ready to move on to showing you guys what guards to use and so on and so forth. So when it comes to doing clipper cuts, I do it on dry hair and then I wet the hair for once I start introducing the scissor. I do that because I find that the clipper glides through dry hair a lot nicer. And yeah, I find it cuts cleaner. Everybody's different though. So, you know, just go with what works for you. Now, clippers generally come with a set of guards. I'm a big Wall girl. These are my favorite clippers to use. I use the Wall Senior Cordless. It's amazing. It comes with a whole range of sizes. So there's a 4, which is a longer, a 3 right there. Number 2 is kind of the most universal size that people use for cutting the sides of hair, and it's what I'm going to use here. You've got your number 1 right here. That's real short, so you want to be a little cautious about going to a number 1 on your partner if you don't know how short they like to wear their hair. And a blending guard, which is fantastic for blending in between. So I'm going to use a number 2 and a number 3 on Ben to show you guys what it would look like if I used a guard to cut this. You want to make sure that your clippers are oiled with clipper oil. If you have a clipper that's been sitting in your bathroom for 5 years and you haven't oiled it and you're about to cut someone's hair, I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to give you a really uneven cut. So please be cautious and treat your clippers properly. When you're going to use a clipper with a guard, that you're going to use a sweeping motion so that you create a bit of graduation. You don't just want to go vroom, 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 vroom straight up the head unless you're looking for that kind of shape, okay? So we've got our number 2 here. I'm going to just get started in the back and we're going to do a sweep right there, right? Notice how I'm being really gentle. I'm not like smushing this into his head and then carving up. It's unnecessary to do that. You just want to gently work that hair out. There we go. Now, other thing that I'm doing, if you'll notice, here's the low part of his temple. Here's the high part of his temple. I'm not cutting this with the clipper. And the reason that's the case is because Ben has a graduated men's cut, and I want to make sure that I don't just go whoop and create an undercut under there. So if you've got one of those partners that has it all long on top and then like a pretty tight fade all the way up to here, you can go a little higher, but I'm not going to do that with Ben's hair. And we're going to go through that nice sideburn. We're going to scoop that out right there. Okay, and I'm working around the face so that it's a little shorter around the face. Now I'm going to put a number 3 on so that you can see how the number 2 blends up into a number 3. Our number 3, and we're just going to go like so and use that to blend up, okay? There you go. And as you can see, that blends that really nicely. And now I've got this stuff that I can cut with my scissor and blend it into the top of the hair, okay? So that we're not going in and we're not creating any bizarre lines on poor Ben's head. So if you're gonna do your partner's hair at home, you can do that with a number 2 and a 3 or a 1 and 2 or whatever. You will have to then go through around the hairline after you've done your guards and your clipper cutting and clean up around these edges a little bit more. So you're going to want to go in like so. Okay? Just clean up around those ears. Make sure they're nice and tidy. Same thing around the perimeter, around the back. Okay? I don't recommend going in and cutting the top of your partner's hair. I think that's overkill. This would give you a nice little blend so that when they section their hair down, it at least looks clean and they can get away with going to work. Now, I am going to do the rest of this silent, and I'm just going to go through and cut Ben's hair for you guys so that you can see how it's done. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some information so that you can help maintain your partner's hair, but hopefully show a little bit of restraint in terms of how much you cut off. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week, and we will see you again soon.